really hot and has a lot of money flowing into it, if someone builds around that on Pulsechain, I think that will definitely bring some kind of adoption. I don't know how much, but yeah, there is a lack of actual like infrastructure, and like there's a lack of it, of a lot of things. But it's because Pulsechain's so new. Like, give it time, these things will come. Just right now, they're not really there. But yeah, that could bring some adoption as well. At the end of the day, like it does, the main thing that is hurting Pulsechain right now is the SEC court case, I think, and Richard Hart's silence on live streaming and things like that. Like, and maybe he's been advised to by his lawyers, but that has a big part to play in it. And once he beats the SEC, which I believe he will, I think that is going to change. That's going to flip, and it's going to set such a large precedent in the crypto space. People are going to be talking about it for decades. That Richard Hart beat the SEC with his DeFi platform, and his DeFi platform is completely off, and they didn't get sued and all that. So I think that's going to be like a key turning point as well. But I do think it is going to go up, throughout this year. I've got no.
By the way,
Sorry, go ahead.
Do you think it really matters though, the SEC? Because CZ is going to go do some jail time, right? It's going to get pounded in the showers for like 4 years or 4 months. I mean, 4 months,
Yeah.
right? So
Nah, CZ's gonna be the richest richest inmate in any prison in this century decade, bruh. He ain't gonna get no pound. He gonna be doing the pounding.
Yeah, yeah, no. I mean, it hasn't. If you look at BNB, what's happening with CZ, it's not really affecting it. But a big chunk of the supply is held by Binance. So,
And he still has his shares. They did not strip him of his shares, dude. He's still rich.
the difference with Pulsechain is
AF.
CZ is getting punished. I don't think Richard Hart is going to be punished. I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I really don't know what the outcome's going to be, but I believe that Richard Hart's going to come out on top. I don't think what the SEC are trying to sue him for has many legs. So I do think that it does matter, because I think there's a lot of people on the sidelines waiting. They're looking at Pulsechain, they want to get in, but they're scared because of the SEC. We saw the same thing happen with XRP. Like, when XRP was sued by when it first came out that the SEC are going after XRP, it dumped from like 50
Dude,
cents
yes.
to like
I
90
remember.
cents, right? And it stayed down for so long. And like, I'm not comparing Pulsechain to XRP. I think XRP is an absolute garbage. And you saw I'm actually underwhelmed at the response after XRP won. Like, it pumped 100%. It went to like 90 something cents. But then it's like done nothing since. But I think that's just because it's XRP as like a narrative is irrelevant now. Like, no one cares about XRP anymore. Whereas like Pulsechain winning the case, that actually has relevance in this day and age, because it's actually DeFi. XRP is not DeFi; it's a complete centralized coin. I think a positive outcome for the court case will really send Pulsechain. And let's not forget, we have Richard Hart, who will have billions of dollars in crypto when Ethereum finally starts making new highs, and he's also got a lot of the SAC money that he's put into Ethereum. A lot of that money is going to come in as well. Like, let's not forget, he done the same thing with Hex, right? Richard Hart pushed Hex to 50 cents. That was a lot of that was him. Obviously, Hex done incredible before that. It was at like 12 cents, but from 12 cents to 50 cents, a lot of that was Richard Hart buying up the supply. So I think he's going to do that again with Pulsechain, and he already has over 90% of the supply. So there's not much out there compared to what he has in the OA wallet and whatever he has in his private wallet. So I think it'd be quite easy to really push the price of Pulsechain when the time is right.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I mean, I don't think people should be like it's funny because everyone's like, no expectations, but everyone's got an expectation that Richard Hart's going to pump the price, right? And like, even though I think it's going to happen, I don't think that's what people should be waiting for. I think like waiting on the founder to buy the coin is not really the play. You know, people should be building on this chain and helping to bring adoption instead of waiting for the founder to buy the coins. Has anyone done the math on how much money it would take to, let's say, 10x the price or 20x the price? Like, has anyone done that math?
No.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see. Like, okay, how much would it take to, for example, 10x the price of Pulsechain? How much money would need to come into the ecosystem? That'd be an interesting metric.
Yeah, I've seen it. I'm trying to remember the numbers. It's not a whole lot of money. I mean, but you got to account for people selling, right? People are going to take profit, so it actually takes more money than that. I mean, if he put like something like just a few $100 million into it, some guy ran the numbers, and if nobody sold, I mean, it was quite a bit of X's. I mean, I think it might have been close to 100X or something. But I mean, obviously people are going to sell. So, you got to, I guess, account for that somehow as well. But it's not as much money as you would think. I think the pump hex, the 52 cents, he spent maybe a little bit less than $100 million. Obviously, Pulse Chain is much larger, a lot more holders. You got Pulsex now, got IMC now. They're all bonded with deep liquidity, but because they're all bonded in liquidity together, I mean, he can manipulate it a lot more than people realize, I think.
You guys think we'll see all-time lows again?
Uh,
Might double bottom down at all-time low. What do you think, Panos?
yeah, I don't think we'll see fresh lows, but I mean, what is the all-time low? Was it in like the threes? I can't even remember now.
I think it's like 4035 roughly, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 40. Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously anything could happen. It really depends on what Bitcoin does, right? If Bitcoin doesn't hold here and goes to 50K, for example, because like there really isn't much support until about 52K. So let's say Bitcoin drops here, we're at 57K and drops to 52K. It will pull down the whole market of Ethereum and Pulse Chain. But to pull Pulse Chain down to that low, I mean, it could happen. I don't think it will, but if it does, yeah, I think a double bottom. I don't think a fresh low will be put in unless there's like some kind of black swan event and just destroys the markets completely.
And is the thinking that Pulse Chain will get pulled down because people would dump Pulse to get into BTC to buy that dip?
So there's maybe that's part of it, but I just think it's all it's all liquidity bonding, right? Everything is, when you think about it, everything is attached to BTC. Ethereum is attached to BTC. It's bonded with BTC. So Pulse Chain kind of is as well, right? You got to think about it like that. So if Bitcoin dumps, Ethereum dumps, all the ERC20 tokens dump. Pulse Chain does have some liquidity bonded to Ethereum. It's not much. But yeah, I think people, it's psychology as well. It's like people, when they see these big dumps, they either get out into stables or like they'll be like, oh, I see opportunity to maybe get into Bitcoin or Ethereum, so I'm going to sell some Pulse and get into that, and then come back into Pulse later. Like there's so many factors that that it can affect the price of Pulse Chain. But mainly, like when you just look at the markets in general, everything moves with Bitcoin. You have your outliers here and there where Bitcoin will be dumping and some other coins will be pumping, but most of the time everything just moves with Bitcoin. Kind of like dictates the market.
Yeah, I still want to buy more PLSX right now, but I'm waiting. I like what B-Root said. He's like, a lot of people, we think that DCAing is the right approach to, you just average down your cost. But I think what ends up happening, paraphrasing B-Roots, is that we'll run out of powder as we hit the bottom. Better to wait for the market to what we think is going to go down and just buy the reversal. We may not nail the absolute bottom in this approach, but at least we're not DCAing down, and we'll have a lot more fresh powder. I mean, a lot more powder to buy the reversal. What do you guys think of that perspective?
Yeah, I think there's definitely benefits to DCAing, but he's right in the sense that you can run out of money DCAing and then it could drop another 90%. And whereas if you just held and waited till you think it bottomed out, you would be in a better position than DCAing for sure. I think the point of DCAing is it's very hard to catch bottoms or tops. So just to be on the safe side, DCA like that's kind of like the perspective of DCAing. But if you have in your mind, hey, I think that Pulsechain is going to bottom out around this price, then why not just hold until it gets close to there at least? Maybe start DCAing when you're close to there, or just go all in once you think it's hit a bottom. I think I think there's some merit to that too.
Yeah, I'm like waiting. It's so like counterintuitive because I've always been in the DCA camp, right? I'm just gonna average down my cost, average down my cost, average down my cost. But I'm like, yeah, let me try this approach. Like so far, yeah, I have some fresh capital I want to inject into Pulse, but I'm like waiting, and so far it's working out. So we'll see. But I am itching to DCA though. I may DCA a little bit, but maybe I'll save a good chunk to buy the reversal if we dip hard. But we also need to buy those dips though, right? Because people, like RH says, people love buying the tops. That's when could be massive money coming into the system. But I think we need to continue to evolve with the times, right?
Yeah, agree. I've used the DCAing for years, and yeah, sometimes you're better off just buying dips. 100%. I've DCA'd into coins for ages and ages, and then realized that hey, I could have made so much more money if I just bought where I thought it was going to go to. So yeah, I think there's merit to both strategies. I think if you want to play it safe, just DCA. But if you have a bit more of a tolerance for risk, maybe just wait for a big dump.
Yeah, I mean, we're here, so I assume most of us have an okay position or a position in Pulse. So the fear of missing out is not going to really happen as much if we're already holding some Pulse. So I think that's the way I'm trying to look at it now. It's like, all right, I'm holding some Pulsex, all those RH points. So why don't I try and just fight the urge to DCA in, right? I'm not going to miss out because I already have a bag, So let's see. Yeah, so I'm trying to evolve with the times too myself, right? Like let's do something different and see if we can make additional, gains on the way up. And there's also ratio trading, right? Even though that's more of a circular type argument, but that's not a bad way to build our positions as well too. Ratio trade between two coins that we like and don't mind getting stuck in. I think that it feels like that's what people are doing more and more and more, which means that probably people don't think we're going to pump as hard right now as well.
Yeah, I do like a bit of ratio trading myself. Specifically, like I do a lot of PLSX or an ink ratio trading. But it's like when you're in an ecosystem where there's multiple core coins, like we've got PLSX, Hex, and Ink. It's always good to have all of them instead of trying to bet on one winner. So I hold all of them, but if I do see opportunities between like a ratio between some of these coins, I'll take advantage of that. But at the end of the day, I hold all of them, so I'm not betting on a single winner. I'm betting. I mean, they're all going to go up together anyway. They're all bonded, but obviously some will pump harder than others at times, and then vice versa.
Yep.
Like Ink actually really surprised me. Like it went down. It sold off so much, and then with that bottom around 40 cents, it was just insane how much it's climbed since then. Versus like PLS and PLSX, that haven't done anything like that. So yeah, don't sleep on Ink.
Yeah, I'm farming my INC.